Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel on this road to 2000. It's going to be day 241. So let's jump into it and see what we can do today. Currently 1757, playing against the 1759. That's not the grob, but I don't know what it is. So we're going to go like they're playing d4 basically, and just try and sort of get our pieces out into the middle. D5, potentially c5, and knight c6 as well. Okay, so let's just carry on. If they want to take, they can take. Absolutely fine. We're just going to develop a piece. Okay, wow. So now I'm thinking long castle. So I might just get this here and ask the question, and then they have to either go f4 or... Right, well, we can just take if they take. So let's do this for the time being. I think taking's a bit of a way because it gives us pressure on this pawn here as well. b2. So they go over there. Now, I think I just hit again. And I think long castling for me is probably the best. And I'm just going to go for a big attack down the side. So I'm going to put the pressure on again. Now, if we take, obviously they'd have to take back and then we take. So we'd win a piece. Right, so they don't want any of that. They may just take. Now, if they do, I don't think taking with the queen is best. I will take with this pawn here. And then at least we'll have some pawns which will be together. So I'm just going to get this out for the time being and then castle. Right, now I can't afford the fork, so we are just going to take. Potential standoff here with the queens actually. So if I actually take, they have to take back with the rook. And then I could take that pawn. But then the king's the only defender of this bishop. So we're going to go for it. Going to play a little bit risky here. Now if I take, then what? What can they do? Can they just... Is that risky? So if I take, for example, can they just take here? If I take back, they take with pressure on this. And then I just think it gets a little bit too messy. So I don't think that necessarily is a good pawn to take. Now with the queens off the board, I might just castle kingside. I was going to go for a kingside attack, but I just think that might not be the best here. So maybe ideas of coming in, and then they kind of have to come back to protect. It's not ideal for them, but it is kind of developing. I'm going to push forward. I think I'm going to push forward. That's not a bad move. Now, ideally, I'd try and get this in as well. If I can get... Wow. So I think I can do this now, pin them. So what would be ideal? I think they're coming in. I think they're coming straight into d5. Ideally, in fact, I can take. They take back with a pawn, and then we get this up. So now they're looking at this fork, which is tricky. So if I castle kingside, I could just defend like so. But I think castling probably makes sense now. It's got to make a bit of sense. But where do they go then? They can still attack, but surely I attack, and then from here, where do they go? They can't really go anywhere, so they just... Alright, now, I think it's a no-brainer to come back, and if they attack me again, I can drop back in here. Attacking this pawn twice now. I want to push them away, I think. So if they come in, wow, that just hangs a piece. So we're just going to take that. And bit of a tricky one, actually. So that pawn's under attack. It's a tricky situation, actually. So I could attack. They just come in and hit my rook. So I'm going to jump in like this. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Be interested to see how they take now. They take like so. We're going to take here. It separates their pawns. It gives them doubled up pawns as well over here. So I think it's probably worthwhile bearing in mind though, if they move this knight, could be in a bit of trouble with this diagonal and the bishop. It's a pass pawn for the time being, which is never great. If I just push them, then what? Where do they go from there? Oh, I'm going to push them. If they want to double up my pawns, I don't mind getting that knight off the board. That knight can be tricky in the end game. Only a pawn up, doubled up pawns here. They've got doubled up pawns here. If they push forward, which they most likely will do. So now I need to be a bit careful. So look, we're going to push forward, protect this pawn. They're going to push forward with a discovered attack on my rook. So rook a d8 is the order of the day. Now, let's just get it in here anyway, because if they push forward, I think I'm just going to keep pushing. Or do I try and exchange rooks? That can't be the worst option, surely. If they take, we take. Separated pawns. Can I get over there in time? I mean, if they push this one, we just take. So now the promotion square is a dark square, so we don't need to worry about that too much. This pawn can easily be taken out of the game, so we're just going to jump over here. And if they keep pushing, we're going to take. Yeah, we just take. And we can take this. And they can't protect it, really. Right, so that was kind of swift, but let's have a little look at the game review on that one. Again, nothing tricky. We just try to keep everything making sense, looking after our pieces. Played with 87.3. That was solid enough. They played with 77.2. We will take it. Yeah, so I think now if I get anything like this, I think just knight comes out straight away and we're acting like they're playing d4 initially. There's nothing wrong with that. They always... I like c5 and then knight out. They wanted knight out straight away. So it wants me to kind of close up that situation. Fair enough. I just thought I had a bit of tempo. If they take, I can take back. And if I push them away, maybe I take back with the knight. If they go... Yeah, so I'm not sure. Okay. So that would have been a good move because they then can't defend this. So if I push, they take, I take, say they take, I take, say they take, I take with check, boom, they take, and then I take, but I lose a queen. It's all very messy. Well, I don't have to lose a queen. We don't have to trade that far, but... So I did this, and then... Slightly worried now that I hadn't castled, but... Watching out for the fork, obviously, was the main thing. I think you just have to take. And here, I mean, I guess I could have... I guess I could have taken... No, I couldn't have taken the pawn because they just take... No, they can't. So in this situation, say I just take. It looks... It's not the worst move. I don't think it's the best move. I think taking was probably the best what I played, but just seeing, because obviously they can't just take because I take back. Then eyeing up this pawn potentially, but also it's an inaccuracy. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, queen takes is the best move. That's interesting because I wasn't sure. Do I take the pawn? But then I figured out, I think that is just a blunder. See what computer says, because surely they can, actually they can't take the pawn, because then I just, no, it is the best move. It is the best move. I overlooked, I think, that, obviously knight now defends this pawn. I mean, it didn't look great though, did it, for me? I mean, it didn't look, I didn't like that situation. But look, anyway, I could have done that. But I chose not to. Then they look like they're coming in. So we're going to pin them. Now they're coming in for their fork. So had to be a bit wary of that. Castle. Wow. It wants rook out. Rook e7 to protect c7. So okay, just wants me to take. And then I guess actually it's a really good point, because if I take, they take back. We've got a fork on the pawn and this, but they just take, don't they? Okay. Well, we just should have taken, but we didn't. Now we come back, so we're hitting this twice now. E4, and that's just, I don't. I'm not being disrespectful to my opponent, but again, anybody who's sort of lower rated that watches the videos, this is what happens at this level. I've done it. Although my mistakes aren't so obviously, that's a bad mistake. I think they've just completely and utterly overlooked this. I think they're trying to double up. I don't know what they're trying to do. Yeah, takes. Potentially winning, or just going for this. I don't know. They just completely and utterly missed the knight. That is what happens at this level, guys. So we just take. And then here we're getting attacked, and we're also going to lose a pawn. So jumping in was the best idea. They take, and then we're just going to take them back and separate their pawns. It made sense. And then here, I think, okay, it wants the other rook. I guess if they take, you take back, and then you've got this sort of rook operating on the F file, which is basically open. So they take, which, yeah, you got to hold on to that knight. That knight could have been the difference between winning and losing. And then here I felt kind of semi-comfortable. No, still wants that. And then here I think that's a, no, wow. Just wants me to take. Just wants me to take. But the tricky thing is, if I take, this is then exposed, and this is the only thing protecting this pawn. So if they push on, for example, I then have to get out the way. If they come in here, it's just, and then I lose this, and I don't know, I guess. But then I can, but then we're going to dance around all game, aren't we? I don't know. Anyway, so we get the rook over. They take, we take, and we immediately... So that's a good move. Now, they take, and that is just... I mean, the good thing here is that they push any further, we take this pawn. King gets over in time to meet their king. The promotion square here is going to be a dark square, so we just move this rook along. It's not going to get touched. This pawn looks vulnerable, I guess, but we're going to try and take out their stuff. And even at some point, maybe have swapped over the knight for the, the rook for the bishop, and then try to just go forward here. I mean, we've got the two pawns here, passes, aren't they? So we could have just tried to work like that. Keep on moving, I guess. So yeah, well, anyway, sometimes you get those comfortable wins, but we will take it. And we move on to the next day. So thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.